Tuesday, August 7th. I still can hardly believe yesterday. When I woke up this morning, I had to go back and read last night's journal entry to be sure I hadn't imagined all of it. King of Kings. I sure had weird dreams last night. In my dreams, everybody kept getting all mixed up and running together. My father turned into Uncle Carl Joe, who turned into Mr. Furtz, who turned into Mr. Chibi. Mrs. Chibi turned into Mrs. Furtz, who turned into Aunt Reading. Beth Ann called here a million times today while Carl Ray was at work. She wanted to know where in the world Carl Ray was last night, and she wanted to know how long he was gone and why he hadn't come over to her house, and on and on and on. I didn't tell her any of the news. I figure Carl Ray will do that soon enough. I just said I wasn't my cousin's keeper. That made her mad. I couldn't see Alex today, but I'll see him tomorrow. Wednesday, August 8th. I saw Alex tonight. Brain is complete mush as a result. 2 more kisses. I love Alex. Chibi. Thursday, August 9th. Alpha and Omega. School starts again in 3 weeks. How did that happen? Where has summer gone? Saw Alex again tonight. 2 kisses. Friday, August 10th. Couldn't see Alex today, but he invited me to a picnic with his parents on Sunday. He invited Carl Ray too, but Carl Ray got a letter from his other father, Uncle Carl Joe. And Uncle Carl Joe wants him to go home this weekend. He wants to talk to him. I refused 100% to go along with Carl Ray this time. Dennis is going. Poor thing. And I am not going to warn him about the Snappers or Booger Hill or the outhouse. He wouldn't believe me anyway. And he might as well find out the hard way. Beth Ann is a basket case. Carl Ray told her on Tuesday night about Mr. Furtz being his father-in-law, and Beth Ann called me on Wednesday to ask if it was true. She doesn't think it's neat at all. She thinks it's sort of disgusting, and she told Carl Ray that. So Carl Ray didn't see her on Wednesday or Thursday. So then Beth Ann called me about a million times on Wednesday and Thursday to ask why Carl Ray hadn't called her. Honestly, when I told her that Carl Ray was going to West Virginia this weekend, she started sniffling. How can he do that? How could he? And on and on. Then she told me that she was going to another GGP pajama party on Saturday. I pretended I didn't hear. Then she told me she had seen Derek the Divine. Remember him? Her old gorgeous boyfriend. She saw him at the A&P. He was with a tacky girl in a tacky pink sweater and a tacky pair of slacks. I had this terrible feeling that Beth Ann is the kind who would drop Carl Ray in a minute to go back to Derek the Divine. She'd better not. That's all I can say. Saturday, August 11th. Dreary day, raining and pouring outside. Carl Ray and Dennis are gone. Mom made me go through all my old school clothes so she could figure out what I would need for school in September. I finished the Odyssey today. Sort of a strange ending. Sacking the suitors. Of course, Odysseus sacks all the suitors and hangs the maids who didn't conduct themselves very well in his absence. Odysseus's dog recognizes him before his wife does. Honestly. In fact, Penelope is going to make him sleep by himself until he goes on and on about their bed that he made with his own 2 hands and all. He goes into every single detail about how he made it. And finally, Penelope believes that he is really Odysseus, her husband, and she goes all soppy over him. Then, just when you think everything's happy and peachy again, a bunch of the suitors' relatives come to battle with Odysseus. More bloody battles until Athena swoops down and says, basically, quit fighting or Zeus is going to be mad. And so they stop, and that's the end. I was sort of sorry it was over, to tell you the truth. No more rosy-fingered dawn and swooping Athena and one-eyed monsters and disguises and revelations. I've started calling Alex Poseidon, King of the Sea, because of his fishing lures and all. The only thing is, old Poseidon doesn't have a girlfriend, like Antony and Cleopatra, etc. So Alex was having trouble trying to think up a nickname for me. I told him I wouldn't mind being called Athena, because, after all, she's a goddess. Sunday, August 12th. My brain is 300% mush, partly from being with Alex and partly from being with the Chivis all day. I'll tell about it tomorrow. Monday, August 13th. So I'll start with yesterday. Lordy, lordy. We all went to Windy Rock. Alex and I took a long walk and climbed up to the actual Windy Rock. We found a place in the grass, and it was so nice there, just sitting in the grass with this little wind blowing all around us, and the sky real clear, and the sun warm on our arms and legs. So let's see. Carl, Ray, and Dennis got back from their trip. You should have heard Dennis talking about it. He liked the outhouse just about as much as I did, and while he was there, he went swimming in the swimming hole, and Lee Bob scared him, talking about the snapper, and sure enough, John Roy took Dennis up Booger Hill, and sure enough, John Roy took him all the way up to the cabin, and sure enough, when they got there, John Roy started screaming, "Convict!" and took off, and Dennis got lost. Dennis also said that Carl Ray drove like a maniac, and they were lucky to get home alive. Does all of this sound familiar? I asked Carl Ray about his father, the Uncle Carl Joe one. He said everything was much, much better. Carl Ray told Uncle Carl Joe what he had told us about being lucky that he still had a real father. And Uncle Carl Joe said he was happy to hear that, and he would always be there when Carl Ray needed him. Then Carl Ray wanted to know if Beth Ann had called, so I told him all about her 8 million calls. Carl Ray went to the cemetery again last night, and he must have come home very late because I didn't even hear him come in. At dinner tonight, Carl Ray casually mentioned that Mrs. Furts had asked him if he would like to live with them. What? 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 What'd he say? I missed it. What'd you say, Carl Ray? Mr. Furts wants to know if you'll go live with them? With the Furtses? What? Is that what he just said? Well, you're not going to do that, are you, Carl Ray? You're going to leave? No, not leaving. Why don't you all just give Carl Ray a chance to answer? Now that's a good idea. Well, I told her I'd have to think about it. She said she'd like to have a man around the house, and I could kill spiders and help out and get to know my sort of brothers and my sort of sisters. Oh, not leaving. Now, you know what? A month ago, if someone had asked Carl Ray to leave our house and go live elsewhere, I would have jumped up and down for joy. I would have turned cartwheels. I would have been as happy as a clam and seaweed. But the funny thing is, when Carl Ray said that about Mrs. Furts, asking him to go live there, I was mad at her. Who she thinks she is all of a sudden deciding to take Carl Ray like that? And what about Uncle Carl Joe? How would Mrs. Furts feel if somebody decided to just up and take Kathy or Barry or little David away? People just don't think sometimes. Tuesday, August 14th. Number 1, I didn't see Alex. He had to work all day. Number 2, Carl Ray broke up with Beth Ann. Number 3, I found out what GGP means. Girls going places. Imagine. How dumb. Wednesday, August 15th. Christy called me today and asked me if I'd like to come to a GGP pajama party on Saturday night. She said it was only for members and a few girls who were under consideration. I said I was busy. I don't think I would have said that 2 months ago. But something has happened to me this summer. I didn't see Alex today because he and his father went fishing after work. Thursday, August 16th. I love Alex Chibi. He sent me a red rose with a card that said, "To Athena from Poseidon." I think I am losing my brains. Carl Ray still hasn't decided about moving in with the Furtzes. Friday, August 17th. Went to the movies with Alex. That's what I call heaven. Sigh. Saturday, August 18th. Beth Ann went to the GGP pajama party. Big deal. Sunday, August 19th. Carl Ray told Mrs. Furtz today that he wasn't going to move in with them. Beth Ann called to tell me that Derek the Divine came over to her house after dinner. She also said to be sure and tell Carl Ray. I didn't. Monday, August 20th. Oh no, I'm dying. Alex and I broke up, I think. It happened like this. We went to the park after dinner. Then we walked home to my house. Then he said, "Goodbye." What? No kiss. He started walking away. That's why I think we broke up. I'm dying. Tuesday, August 21st. No word from Alex. I am truly dying. I can't breathe. And stupid old Beth Ann wormed her way back into Carl Ray's heart. They're back together. Lucky them. I'm real happy. I really am. Wednesday, August 22nd. Christy called today to say I had only one more chance to come to a GGP pajama party. I said, very big deal. She got mad and hung up. I'm becoming a rotten person. Thursday, August 23rd. Today, the florist delivered another rose from Poseidon.